Saudi. Yeah, I believe that he has Mexican sort of special forces coming to the. No, but that was our recommendation.
No, I'm just.
Yeah.
No, I didn't know they had special
forces.
forces.
Yeah, because, yes, his mate. It's his mate.
His name, yeah.
But basically, when we was going through this whole process with Ruiz, you know, it was a case of like they heard all these, you know, things, people saying, "So this is ridiculous. You can't go there." So it was a case of, okay, this is what we're going to do. You know, we're going to make sure that the army are in place in Saudi Arabia, personal security provided from Matchroom. And he said, well, I want our people. I said, what do you want? You want Mexican armed forces security? We'll get that as well. I mean, I went to Hearn 2 weeks ago. I have to say.
You recruited there?
What?
Did you recruit from there?
No, but we know, you know, the same kind of teams that work for us there. I've got to say, I felt a million times more safe in Saudi than I did in Hermosillo. But I loved Hermosillo as well. You know, so.
You're half Mexican, don't you?
I'm half Mexican, yeah, but Hermosillo is a little bit edgy. So is Tijuana, to be honest with you, but we love it.
Tijuana's safe.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
I go there all the time.
I'm sure you do.
Yeah.
That's another story.
Not at that place. Not at that place.
What do you tell the casual fans that this fight, the magnitude of this fight is not on pay-per-view, knowing that this could possibly generate over $1 million pay-per-view buys?
We're with a broadcaster where we're trying to eradicate that model. So, yes, you know, this is a pay-per-view fight. Obviously, being out of the country on a different time zone makes it less appealing as a pay-per-view event, but we had the opportunity to do it in the US, and it wouldn't have been on pay-per-view, it would have been on DAZN. So, for me, it's by far the biggest fight of the year in 2019. It's going to come to you at 4 p.m. on December the 7th, 9 p.m. UK time, midnight Saudi Arabia time. And I think it's great for boxing. I mean, I think what we've got to realise is there's another world out there outside of this great country and my great country. And the mindset of Saudi Arabia, and now since we've done that deal and many other countries in the Middle East have been approaching me as well, is we want to make sure that all the mega fights are staged here.
Knowing that Ande Ruiz is a PBC fighter now, and you got to his Matchroom, have you considered at least reaching out to Al Hain and having a PBC versus Matchroom card for Saudi Arabia?
Not really, I'd rather just have a Matchroom.
Is there another rematch clause in place, Eddie? If
Not
Eddie
this
does
time.
one? Not this time, no rubber match, anything?
No, but, you know, absolutely not contractually, but who knows? I mean, I think if we had another fight like the first fight, and Joshua won, I think everyone would be calling for number 3.
For those times you gave us for the main event?
Yes, main event. So the main event will be 12 o'clock Saudi Arabia time, which will be 9 p.m. UK time, which will be 4 p.m. Eastern.
I didn't know we had a contract before, but did people try to get a rematch clause? Ruiz, they tried, you know?
It seems that Andy didn't want to participate for the same terms that he agreed to prior to the first fight, and maybe wanted to bring his price up. What was your reaction to that? How was it resolved?
The most inevitable thing I've ever seen was the reaction. And you know, when he signed the contract, he was the happiest man in the world. And then when he won the fight, he thought it was a bad deal. So this is boxing, this is how it works. And you know, to be fair, there were some additional things that we wanted him to do for the rematch, for our deal with Saudi Arabia. There might have been some commercial terms, maybe some appearances, some memorabilia, additional visits on the media tour, and we paid for that. You know, it was never about the location and the safety, but they were things that we had to overcome as well, and make sure that him and his team were comfortable with. So it was 99% about the money, and it was 1% about the safety, the drug testing, the commission, and all the other things that they were right to ask. You know, I don't blame them for asking those things. This is a move into a territory that isn't used to mega events. It's done the World Boxing Super Series, it's done an Amir Khan fight, but never an event of this magnitude. So Tom Brown, Al Heyman, all those guys did their job by making sure that, you know, the commission, the security, the testing, all those kind of things were how it should be for a fight of this magnitude.
So the commission's being flown out there, you have to fly everyone out there, right?
So no, there's a commission already out there. Saudi Arabia Commission, they did the World Boxing Super Series, they did the Amir Khan fight.
I heard it wasn't like sanctioned.
Yes, it is sanctioned, but we have an agreement with Ande Ruiz that we will have representation from both sides on the commission. So they will have the selected commissioner from the US, okay, and we will have one from the UK. We met with the commission yesterday, who have staged events before. Again, you know, all the eyes of the world is on them. So they want to make sure that, you know, everything is absolutely perfect. So at our request and at Team Ruiz's request, we will have representatives that sit, not representatives, but, you know, local commissions to us that sit on that commission to advise and make sure both parties are happy with everything.
Eddie,
Selection.
what's it called?
Saudi Arabian Boxing Commission.
And what about the judges and the referees?
They will be as per the first fight, which is as per the governing bodies, which will be neutral officials all round.
Including the referees?
Correct. So we will make sure it will either be a British judge, an American judge, a neutral judge, or all neutral officials and a neutral referee as well. So no British ref, no American. I mean, the referee is 100% neither British or American, but we will make sure that, as always, the governing bodies will put forward all the officials. It will be selected and whittled down by the commissions to come back to the camps and say, this is the selection, do you have any objections? Those objections will be reviewed, but they'll be all neutral officials.
Eddie,